Have you ever considered why and how Black History Month and Juneteenth came into existence? As we journey through the annals of history, we unravel the origins and evolution of these significant events that hold profound importance in American history. In the early 20th century, a man named Carter G. Woodson, a Harvard-educated historian, noticed a pattern of neglect and distortion of the history of Black people in America. This led him to establish the Association for the Study of Negro Life and History, now known as the Association for the Study of African American Life and History. He believed that knowledge of one's history instills a sense of pride and identity, a notion that is as important today as it was back then. In February of 1926, Woodson introduced the first iteration of Black History Month, known as Negro History Week. He chose February specifically because it held the birthdays of two individuals who greatly influenced the lives of Black Americans: President Abraham Lincoln and abolitionist Frederick Douglass. The aim was to encourage the coordinated teaching of the history of Black Americans in the nation's public schools. As the years passed, Negro History Week began to evolve into a month-long celebration. During the civil rights movement of the 1960s, the week's observance stretched throughout the entire month of February. In 1976, Black History Month was officially recognized by the U.S. government, with President Gerald Ford urging Americans to seize the opportunity to honor the too often neglected accomplishments of Black Americans in every area of endeavor throughout our history. Now, let's turn our attention to Juneteenth. This day, also known as Emancipation Day, Freedom Day, or Jubilee Day, commemorates a specific date: June 19, 1865. It marks the day when Union General Gordon Granger arrived in Galveston, Texas, and announced that the Civil War had ended and that all enslaved persons were now free. This announcement came 2.5 years after President Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation, which had technically ended slavery. However, news traveled slow in the 19th century, and enforcement of the proclamation was even slower, especially in remote areas like Texas. Juneteenth started as a Texas state holiday in the late 19th century, with former slaves and their descendants marking the day with prayer services, inspirational speeches, readings of the Emancipation Proclamation, and celebrations with food, music, and dance. Over the years, Juneteenth evolved into a nationwide observance, culminating in its recognition as a federal holiday in June 2021. In conclusion, Black History Month and Juneteenth are not just dates on a calendar. They represent the long, arduous journey towards equality and freedom for Black Americans. They serve as a reminder of the struggles and triumphs of a people who, despite enduring centuries of racial segregation and discrimination, have contributed immensely to the nation's history and culture. They are a call to remember, celebrate, and continue striving for justice and equality for all.